once again, today we'll be doing a Weeb Corner video, and today I'll be ranking anime villains, anime, manga, and anime and manga villains. Anyways, I'm gonna be in a rush since I have to make sure that this video actually is small enough for me to edit with Clydio. But let's get started. First off, Upper Moon 1, amazing fights, amazing backstory, amazing ability. Trying to keep it as short as possible. At first, I would have put him in ew, but at first I would put All for One in ill, but I'll put him in C since it seems like he actually has a plan besides just being evil for the sake of evil. Next, we have Shura, which is he's basically just Black Force energy incarnate. Basically, he the scene for the overall dark mood for Eden Zero was already set by Dragon Joe, but Shura kind of solidifies it. I mean, by solidify it, he kind of just demonstrates that Eden Zero is no longer going to be a walk in the park. Because even after the 6-month time skip, Shura's still body sheiky, and when we are introduced to him, we see him liquefy people's bodies with gravity just for the sake of doing so. He's even killed his own henchmen just to even prove a point. Like Rebecca was fighting a bunch of his henchmen, and he pins first he just liquefies a bunch of his henchmen's bodies, then he pins Rebecca to the floor and then tells Rebecca, hey, I could have liquefied you like I did everyone else. So basically he just did that just to prove a point, and he did all of that in his base form. Basically, Shura has been hyped to be stronger than both Shiki and Ziggy, which is kind of nuts. Gravity is such a ridiculous power. He's done many other crazy things, and but I can't really go over all of them because, again, I'm on a time limit here. But you should totally check out Eden Zero just because of this character alone. Next, we have Lucia Raregroove from Rave Masters. Amazing character. Just like Shura, he's basically just Black Air Force Energy, the character. The only time he wasn't an absolute badass or unit was when that one henchman of his spoke back to him and he didn't really punish her at all. I mean, he choked her, but he has killed people for way less. During his introduction, by the way, his nickname is the Blonde Demon because because of the legacy his father has set up, plus he was imprisoned for most of his life simply because people didn't like his father. And upon hearing about his father's defeat, he just breaks out of prison, kills all the prisoners, kills all the people working at the prison, and kills everyone on that prison island before hijacking a boat, a ship full of people, flying over to Symphonia, and then just blowing up that ship full of people just because. And then he just kisses Ellie right in front of Haru, just to assert dominance and to basically declare that Ellie, the woman who wields Ethereon, is his wife. Even though she clearly does not like him. This character I do not know much about. All I know is she's from Kill la Kill and she kills the main character's father. Next we have Tomura Shigaraki, and he was very lackluster at first. But he's become a fine villain. Plus, I'm curious to see what they do with his character, because due to his backstory is incredibly tragic and sad, and you kind of wish he received some form of justice. But he's also killed way too many people to actually get off the hook that easily. Next, we have Aizen, and yeah, my friend saw this video. He'd probably be mad because he really loves Aizen, so much so to the point where he would say he loves Aizen and then follow that up with yes homo. But I really am not a fan of Aizen's plot armor, or I don't know, Aizen is kind of just boring as a character in my opinion. He's somewhat of a delightful villain in the way he trolls both foes and allies alike, but I'm just overall not a fan of him. Yoshikage Kira, he was a fun villain for part four, but I did not like how I did not like how like he always kind of just got away because like the main characters would just stand there and do nothing and just basically let this dude run free all the time. Like they could have stopped him way earlier, but they kind of just chose not to. Pain, one of my favorite villains in Naruto. Like there's not really much to say about him besides the fact that I actually like really like Pain as a villain, and I also love the Pain arc. I like Pain more than most villains in Naruto, especially this piece of garbage right here, but I'll get to him very soon. Yuha Bak. His plan was stupid and didn't make any sense, and he ended up killing Stern Ritter M. the Miracle, which is unforgivable in my opinion. And then we have Madara, who I'd place in D. Madara, he's garbage in my opinion. Like garbage in the sense that he's a horribly written character. I really don't like him. He does cool things, but it's like I just can't get over his ridiculous plot armor. Like somehow he makes like he has more plot armor than Aizen, and I'm not a fan. And like I can understand if it like he just happened to coincidentally find an opportunity to get what he wants. But when they revealed that he planned all of it, that kind of just took me out of it, and it really made me hate this character. Zeke, he's all right. He's just decent. We find out his backstory, and you can kind of sympathize with him, even though he's done a lot of shit. Sinbad, I hear he's a Chad of a villain. I've only seen the anime. I've not read manga, but from what I hear, he's pretty beastly. Plus, what we see in the anime is also pretty nuts. This man is an absolute Chad. I wish manga actually, was completed. At least in the anime, you know what I'm saying. Next, we have Mardgear. He's a decent villain. We don't know too much about him except for the fact that he's at the very like at the very max, 400
Carefully.
years old. Like he apparently has a
We're gonna
relationship
talk
with.
about Japanese.
Middle Eastern.
Like he apparently has a relationship with the Celestial King, which I'm actually kind of curious about because when did those two ever meet? Especially since Mardgeir not only is a creation of Zerus, meaning that like at first I thought Mardgeir was just a being that existed before Zerus, but apparently not. He's a creation of Zerus, so I'm curious as to when he and the Celestial King actually interacted. But let's move on because I don't want this video to be too long. Doflamingo. I like his ability at first, and I like his design. I just really hate how his ability was retconned because retconned to be ridiculously OP and very stupid because Oda is a horrible writer. And he's incredibly repetitive. He's still better than Mashima. Not Mashima. He's still better than I forgot the name of the writer for Naruto. Kishimoto. But I do not like Birdcage. I don't like how stupid its implications are because that would also imply that Doflamingo could make cages around everyone that's basically as strong as Birdcage and essentially auto win. Basically, Doflamingo's powers were very stupidly designed. Next, we have Muzan. He's a shitty villain and a horrible leader. Especially when you think about it, because in the manga, he nearly wipes out the entire Demon Slayer Corp. He nearly wipes him out with just himself, Upper Moon 1, 2, and 3. Which says a lot because the Hashira presently in the story are way stronger than the Hashira in the past. Daki's the weakest Upper Moon, and she has only been a demon for 100 years. Excuse me. And she has managed to slay 7 Hashira. So basically, the Hashira of the past were basically target practice for the Upper Moon. Yet somehow Muzan still failed to kill them. Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu are as strong as the previous Hashiras of the past. So Muzan just fails, and it's pretty obvious as to why he fails as a villain, especially when he kills his own demons for the dumbest of reasons. yeah, Muzan is just a horrible, horrible, horrible character. I mean, he's a horrible villain. He's absolute garbage. Yeah, this character who I don't really care for. She's from Chainsaw Man. Oh yeah, Makima. Yeah, like. Anyways, I'm not gonna go too much into her because I kind of want to finish this video before it reaches the limit. Because this is my fourth time trying to record this. Dio, no need to explain this. Lucifero, so far he's a decent character despite the fact that he's only had like 2 to 3 chapters to actually do something because he just came. And he's already folding everyone. Basically, there's not too much to his character, but he's basically just an unstoppable force of evil. Heathcliff, not gonna explain. Obito, he was cool until you got to see his motivation, but I do like his backstory. Him, he's a horrible villain in the sense that you hate this dude, but he's also not that interesting, so I'll put him in D. Dragon Joe, phenomenal. He basically set the whole tone for Eden Zero. Yeah, there were dark moments before, but the crew were able to blow through those. But as soon as they got to Dragon Joe, they got clapped. Dragon Joe was 10 steps ahead of them, and Dragon Joe actually managed to violate the entire crew. He's the reason why Old Man Weiss has only one hand and the other hand is a mechanical one, because the suitcase he stole from Sabir was actually belonged to Dragon Joe, and Dragon Joe was not happy about that, so he chopped off his hand. And when he encountered the Weiss that's currently on the Shiki's crew, he decides to cut his arm off. He decides to cut his arm off too, just for shits and giggles. Then he sells Homura into being a hoe. For the rest of her life, he gets rid of Happy and Pino, and he also murks Shiki. He shoots Shiki in the head after giving a whole speech about how people are more useful to him alive than dead. Basically, this guy lives up to his nickname as being the most evil man in the Sakura cosmos. And he's also the member of the Ration Cis Galactica, which are essentially Yonkos within the world of Eden Zero. And the Ration Cis Interstellar are basically the admirals in the world of Eden Zero. Also, I forgot to mention that Shura is basically the adopted son of one of the Ration Cis Galactica, but he is pretty much as strong as an Ration Cis Galactica, so you might as well treat him as one. Basically, Dragon Joe basically succeeded in killing the main character, at least in Universe 1. So, the Shiki we are now following past the Dragon Joe arc is basically not even Shiki, even though this person acts, and this person is basically Shiki, but they're not Shiki from Universe 1. Kaguya, garbage villain. Eren, I don't really consider him a villain. Sukuna, he's Black Air Force energy. He just radiates Black Air Force energy, and I can't really wait to see where this series goes with him. See what the series does with him. Diavolo, he's an alright villain. Miriam from Hunter x Hunter, I don't think I need to explain him. For those who've seen Hunter x Hunter, I don't have time to go that much into depth about him. He's an amazing character. Blackbeard, really interested in him. Before I would have said he's meh, but he has a lot of mystery surrounding him regarding his initial, as well as the fact that he's never slept a day in his life, and he can steal devil fruit powers. I don't know who this guy is. Zeref, he's meh. I don't know. There's not really much to say about him. He just has a really tragic backstory, but he just turns evil just for the final season to happen. And boy, was that final season garbage. It was even worse in the manga somehow. Medusa, decent villain. I like her personality, I like her abilities, and I like her overall design. And she's truly twisted, making her defeat all the more satisfying. Patri, wasn't really feeling him that much as a villain. Then Annie also just becomes a good guy later, so it's whatever. The Gun Gale guy, of course. This chick, I've never watched Kill la Kill, but I know she's a real menace. Like, she abandons her daughter, which is basically the protagonist of Kill la Kill. She has her husband killed by this chick, and she even regularly molests her daughter, which is nuts. Griffith, I don't think I need to explain Griffith. And Logia, in the manga, he was absolutely terrible because his only motivation was destruction, but the anime actually delves deeper into that, thus giving him more of a character, more of a reasonable motivation. Basically, the manga's doo doo. Xenon Socrates. As far like the Socrates siblings don't really have that much depth to them as characters, but except for Xenon, because he actually was given a backstory and a character, and he shares a lot of similarities to Yuno, except they've chosen different paths, and Yuno ended up being the way that he is, and Xenon ended up falling on the path that he did. Hisoka, he's alright. Esdeath, haven't watched Akage Makit, but I hear she's alright. Minato, I like Minato as a villain. He is delightfully evil. I still I still don't like how he killed Junpei and Kagemaru, but also in Nanami. Basically just killing everyone's favorite characters. Also what he did to forgot nope. Yeah, somehow I forgot that chick's name. One of the main characters. But anyways, Minato is such he's such a good villain. Askeladd, whatever. And Ziggy. We don't know too much about Ziggy or why he's doing the things that he did. All we know is he taught Shura and Shiki how to use gravity, ether gear, and upon entering Universe 2, he has apparently he's went off the rails, and we don't know why he's doing this yet. Basically, he's at the moment he's just a perverted version of what he used to be. So I'll just put him in B for now. Anyways, that's it. It's been me, your boy Blue Guy, and I'm out.